If no one has told you today that you're not crazy, they're crazy, I am glad to be the one telling you that today. And that's why I'm showing you this piece of art right here. Because a lot of times it may be a gift, but you know what? You do sound a little crazy for telling people, hey, I can control things with my mind. I see things, I hear things, and I have a past life, right? But with that being said, welcome to Reviews from the Six. My name is Cedric, but you can call me Ceddy Said. And today we are reviewing Indigo Children issue number 2. Like, y'all, this is becoming one of my favorite comic book series, y'all. Like, I think there's 3 issues out. I only have 2, which if you haven't seen the review on 1, make sure you go check that out. Here, I like to tell everyone that it doesn't matter if you're a Marvel fan, a DC comic fan, Image, Boom, Ahoy. None of that stuff really matters. We discuss our hobbies here, which is comics, of course, right now. And I'm glad to bring this comic book to you. So I go ahead and I show you the art because the art is exactly what brings us in when we're in the comic book store, right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you the art. I'm going to tell you what I thought about the story, what I liked about the story, what I didn't like about the story, why I picked it up, you know, just have a little conversation with y'all while I tell you about this comic book. So first things first, we have the cover art here. Kind of have a half-naked man, or half-naked brother to be exact here. And then you have the indigo color there. And then you kind of have like the Tetris feel in the back, I guess you could say. I don't know. And of course, this is cover A. And then on the back, you just have some dialogue. With the Indigo Children, they haven't had a lot of like art on the back. But to flip through the pages, again, if you haven't heard me before, the art isn't bad at all. Like, it's not very detailed, but the way that the sequences are set up and then the way they just pay attention to like little stuff, like look at the lights on the gun. Like, I just thought that's like super cool. Like, it's, like I said, it's not going to be the greatest art and it's not the worst art, but it works. And then the sequences that it's set up in. And as you can tell already, man, like, this is just a good book, bro. Like, I really love it, y'all. This is just a real good book. So let's go ahead and get right into the characters and the story and all that good stuff, right? So kind of like with the first one, you kind of start off with your main character, which is Fred. And with Fred, they show his ability. Now, they kind of pick up where they left off on 1. So if you haven't seen my review on 1, make sure you go see it. Or if you haven't read 1, go ahead and check it out. But like I said, they kind of pick up from 1. So without any spoilers, they kind of show these explosions that's been happening, right? So you remember in the beginning of issue 1, when Alexei walks on the plane, he kind of reads the mind of the dude or sees the past of the guy, and it's an explosion, right? And then all of a sudden, the plane that they're on, an explosion happens. And then at the end of 1, they show the explosion again, right? So they pick off on this one in number 2, where there's an explosion that happens and he's like, why is this happening every single time? Like, I don't know what's going on. And just like Alexei a little bit, they're having problems adjusting on this world. So as of now, we should know that the Indigo Children, they aren't from Earth. They are from Mars. And they already lived before. So this is like their reincarnation or second life. I don't know how many lives they're on now, but they already been here, done that, right? So Fred is having those type of troubles where he's having all these visions and all these thoughts, and he's just like, bro, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm tripping. Now with Fred, they kind of show that Fred is not an architect, but yeah, he's an architect, and then also he sells buildings as well. So they're like, dude, you're a genius. So they kind of show Fred just, you know, doing this thing, man, like he's the best at what he does, and that's designing buildings and selling spaces, right? So he's in the club, and while he's in the club, like everybody's having a good time but him, and he's just like, bro, I feel like I'm being watched. I feel like I'm being monitored. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. And he's in there with his therapist or psychologist, and they're pretty much like, are you taking the meds that we're telling you to take? And he's just like, I'm telling y'all, that's not the issue though. Like, I don't need meds. The meds ain't working. It's something else going on. And they're like, but you can kind of tell by like the dialogue that they're having that the doctor isn't on his side, that she's up to something. There's something fishy going on there, right? So they kind of just go through him just having these flashbacks, you know, with him and his father and how he built things. So like I said, when I was showing you the Sphinx, so keep in mind, we see the Sphinx a couple times, right? We see it in 1 in the beginning. You go and watch every review, you see me open it up. I don't know if you see it here in the beginning of this one, but you do see kind of like a world, right? And that's what he's building, pretty much. That's what he's creating. But to be exact, I want him to see right here. So boom, so while all this is going on, he's having flashbacks and he's just like, bro, did I build the pyramid, man? And like all of a sudden Alexei pops up in one of his visions and he's like, yo, who are you? Like, what are you doing here? And Alexei's like, bro, you don't remember me? Like, I need you to wake up like right now, bro. Like get with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he don't know what's going on. So he's tripping. And all of a sudden, like his abilities are starting to peak. So he's starting to get that purple, the indigo color around him. And he's just like, I don't know what's going on. So something tells him to get rid of the meds. He gets rid of the meds. And as he's walking through his home, like he can kind of see through the walls and he hears something. So there's like someone spying on him. Like there's a whole nother, like a hidden office inside his home with someone monitoring him. Right. So he can see this. He can hear it. So he pushes open the door and they're getting ready to lay him down. But guess what, y'all? Guess what? And this is what I mean. Like the action is so good. The action is so deep. Here comes Alexei, right? Full blown indigo child. Boosh. I'm like, yeah, get him, bro. So they going to work. And as they're going to work, bro, like he's telling them, I need you to remember who you are. I need you to wake up. But we got to take care of this business first, right? So as they're going through the battle, you can kind of see that Alexei's more offensive with his abilities, whereas Fred is more defensive with his abilities. So the building, so he's building blocks, right, to kind of block them in, to seal up other fighters and military men. And you're just like, oh, okay. And they need to escape. So they escape and he builds a bridge and they get away. So long story short, without any spoilers, Alexei helps him remember who he is. And Alexei is like, oh, or Fred is like, oh, that's what we are. That's what we do. That's why we're here. I remember my purpose, brother. Right. So then he started asking him questions like, how did you become free? Like, weren't you trapped somewhere too? Like, how do you know these men that are with you? And they kind of show a scene where they had to fight their way out. And it was just hilarious because instead of telling them like, yeah, we had to like murder a whole bunch of people, he was just like, oh yeah, we had to get out of a sticky situation by any means necessary type deal. So yeah, man. So down in the comments below, let me know what you think. Like, oh, so that's what I want to add it to before we go ahead and get into the comics. Once you get to the end of the story, they kind of let you know like, yo, like they've given all the Indigo children code names like Indigo Alpha, Indigo 5, so forth, right? I don't know. I forgot what they call Fred. I believe they call Alexei the Alpha. And then they have a, so this is the government talking now. We don't know if it's the government or spies or whatever, but these are the people that's hiding the Indigo children. And they're talking and they're like, look, hey, do we got to release Indigo 5 again? Because if we have to, we will. And y'all, I don't want to ruin it or give any spoilers because I don't know yet. I haven't read 3, but I'm going to. But I think Indigo 5 is the guy doing all the explosions that was in 1. Y'all remember when I told y'all that? So, bruh, make sure you get your hands on this. With that being said, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button because your vibe attracts your tribe and something brought you here today. I want you to stay. Also, in the comment section, let me know down below, what did you think of Indigo Children 2? Are you going to pick up 3? Did you enjoy 1? Is this a series that you're going to continue with? Did you just stop? Is this something that you want to get into? Have you heard about the Star Children like I have? Make sure you let me know down in the comments below, bro. Let's have a little conversation. Also, make sure you hit that like button because if you don't hit that like button, YouTube algorithm is going to be like, nobody likes this stuff and they won't share my stuff with anybody else or similar content with you. Also, make sure you hit that share button to any and all social media platforms, specifically anyone that this would be beneficial or useful to. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads, y'all. I know you don't want to miss issue 3 that I got coming. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get that and I'm going to review that as well. So yeah, with all that being said, man, I just want to thank you for joining me today on Indigo Children number 2, done by Indigo Comics. Peace, love, and blessings.